Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're glad to have you. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott. Yep. Thanks for the people that subscribe. And
yes, sir. Together, we're Backyard Musing Science and Technology channel.
Yeah. And today we're talking about a pretty fascinating story about a vanished ocean. So pretty cool.
Interesting. A vanished ocean may have helped sculpt Central Asia's mountains. Geologists from the University of Adelaide report that the forces shaping Central Asia during the age of dinosaurs may have originated far from the region itself. Their research points to the ancient Tethys Ocean as an unexpected influence on the rise and fall of mountains across the continent during the Cretaceous period. Would you like to know more?
Rather than relying on a single data set, the scientists combined hundreds of previously published thermal history models created over roughly 3 decades of research in Central Asia. By treating this vast archive as a unified data set, they were able to trace long-term geological patterns that individual studies could not easily reveal.
AI, baby.
Yeah, AI.
Central Asia's rugged terrain is commonly explained as the outcome of interacting tectonic movements, shifting climates, and processes deep within Earth's mantle, acting over the last 250 million years, quarter billion years. The new findings suggest this picture may be incomplete, especially when it comes to the role of climate and mantle activity.
Quote, we found that climate change and mantle processes had only little influence on the Central Asian landscape, which persisted in an arid climate for much of the last 250 million years. This is according to Dr. Sam Boone, who was a postdoctoral researcher at Adelaide University when the research was conducted.
Okay, we kept his quote saying climate change. We don't believe in that. We believe in the effects of an ice age. So we kept his quote without changing it. Continuing the quote, instead, the dynamics of the distant Tethys Ocean can directly be correlated with short-lived periods of mountain building in Central Asia. At the time, the Tethys Ocean stretched between major land masses and played a central role in global plate motions. Its gradual closure during the Mesozoic period, which spans the last quarter billion years, set off tectonic changes that rippled across Eurasia. Although the ocean itself has vanished, with only the Mediterranean Sea remaining, its influence appears to be preserved in the ancient mountains of Central Asia.
Another quote here. The present-day relief of Central Asia was largely built by the India-Eurasia collision and ongoing convergence. This is according to co-author, Associate Professor Stingen Glory from Adelaide University's School of Physics, Chemistry, and Earth Sciences. Going on with a quote, however, during the Cretaceous periods, hope I'm pronouncing that right, dinosaurs would have seen a mountainous landscape as well, similar to the present-day basin and range province in the western United States. Okay, basin and range. So would that be like the plains and the Rockies, or?
Yeah, I would think so. Like
that.
Colorado, Kansas, Dakotas, that kind of range.
California with the Sierra, like the Owens Valley, the Sierra going from.
I think the east side of. I'm thinking the east side of the Rockies. The Rockies being the range.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Quote, that's just my opinion. I'm not an expert. I'm just
correct. If you know, please let us know and in the comments.
Quote, it is thought that the extension in the Tethys, due to the rollback of subducting slabs of ocean crust, reactivated old suture zones, into a series of roughly parallel ridges in Central Asia, up to the thousands of kilometers away from the Himalaya collision zone.
The study relied on thermal history models that enabled the research team to uncover geological processes and stages of Earth's development that had not been identified before. Quote, these models were constructed using chronology methods and reveal how rocks cool down when they are brought towards the surface during the mountain uplift and subsequent erosion, according to Associate Professor Glory.
A lot of quotes here. Quote,
Yeah.
we analyzed the compilation of thermal history models and function of plate tectonic models for the Tethys Ocean evolution, as well as deep time precipitation and mantle convection models. That's a mouthful, says Associate Professor Glory, whose study was published in this study, Nature, Communications, Earth, and Environment, on December 18, 2025. She said the same approach could be applied to other areas of the globe.
Another quote, there are many parts on the planet where the drivers and timing for mountain building and or rifting are poorly understood. For example, closer to home, the breakup history of Australia from Antarctica is somewhat enigmatic, he said.
And what about Zealandia? Let's not forget about Zealandia. That's a huge continent.
Well, and I remember having people tell me that if you look at the contours of the east coast of South America and North America and compare it to the west coast of Europe and Africa, you could almost form that into a puzzle piece.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
maybe that,
Take a look for yourself. Pull out a map and take a look and see what you think.
Yeah. And again, we know, when the planet was being formed, right? There were all kinds of stuff happening. And that's,
there was just one continent. And
right.
then it says in Genesis, when the lands broke up, that's recorded in Genesis after
Correct.
Noah.
Correct.
Set down. All right. Quote, Australia drifted away about 80 million years ago, but there is no obvious imprint of this in the thermal history record of either the Antarctic or Australian plate margins. Instead, they record much older cooling histories. We're applying the same approach as used in Central Asia to advance understanding of Australia-Antarctica breakup. So that's pretty cool. I mean,
yeah.
I think it's a fascinating geology major,
Yeah, exactly. And is anybody talking about Atlantis, the lost city of Atlantis?
That might be on Zealandia. That might be. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
It might be. Where do you think it is?
I have no idea. But I know it's out there somewhere.
I'm saying is, remember we did that report off the Indian coast of India, that sunk city? Remember that?
Yep.
We were talking about Atlantis back then too.
Yep. So we're not going to give up on the old Atlantis. So anyway.
All right, folks.
Good
Thanks
story.
a lot. We'll see you later.
Take care. We'll see you tomorrow.